fight single-handedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
unlicensed
therapy with Ari Mannis.
The guy who owns this apartment building is 95 years old. His name's Mr. Bradley. And when I moved in, I said, can I use the garages? Because I saw them. I was like, can I put the car in there? And he goes, no, we use it for storage. I have a bunch of old stuff in there.
Okay.
And one day I was just bored and I was peeking around and it was all trash. Everything in here was trash, but I was like, I don't want to disrespect the guy. I got a good deal. I'm not going to go against what he said. Then he died.
Okay.
And in the midst of all this thing, I'm like, I'm just going to open the garage, clear it out, start using it, and pretend like I've been using it.
So no one like came for his old shit or anything?
It was literally trash. It was literally like that wouldn't have been value to anyone except maybe a hoarder.
Yeah.
It was old furniture, but like ratty furniture. It wouldn't be worth anything. It'd be hard to give away.
But like bugs and mice and shit in here?
There was rat poop. I didn't see actually any rats, but there were tons of bugs.
Jesus.
The walls were covered in oil and dirt. It was gross.
Oh my God. Well,
So
good work, dude.
Yeah, so I spent days clearing all the shit out. Then I painted it. First I hosed it down. Then I painted it. Then I got wood paneling from Home Depot.
Did you hang the wood paneling?
I glued it. I got construction
It's
adhesive.
glued?
Yeah, that's all up there just via glue. Like strong construction glue.
I mean, at least it's pieced together nice.
Yeah, so I just put a little set together.
Good work, dude.
And it's pretty good. It's not perfect. You could hear a little street noise, but no one complains. And yeah, I'm
That's
a
really
tech
nice.
nerd, so I
People
made
at
it
home
sound
don't
and look
realize
good.
that this looks like a place you for sure OD in. On the outside. On the inside, it's nice. There's a stuffed animal, a candle.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of weird shit goes down here, and who knows the history of what went down in here. There could have been crackheads in here.
There's got to be a reason he was like, don't go in the garage.
I think he was just a hoarder. He was an old man, and he's like, you never know when I'll need that stuff again.
Do you hoard it all? Is there any like specific thing that you're like, I don't know if I can get rid of this yet?
Old clothes.
Same.
Yeah, I have a shirt, like old T-shirts where I'm like, I might want to wear that again one day. I'm never wearing that again, but I have a separate drawer of shirts that I might wear again one day.
Oh, dude, I'm the same way.
That I'm not going to wear.
I have so many outfits at home that I'm like, there will come a time where I'm going to need to wear this. And I'll do it with mail from like the bank. Anything that has to do with my finances, I can't get rid of it.
I might need this one day.
I'm terrified that someone's going to be like,
Are you scared of going broke?
This. I'm already broke, so I mean, that
Are you
doesn't
actually
scare
broke?
me. Oh, dude, yes, absolutely.
It's amazing how little we know about each other because, like, when I look at you just from an outsider's perspective, I'm like, oh, he's killing it. He's on TV. He's doing stand-up on the road. Like, he must have hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, God, no. I'm like, I'm not broke, but I'm not comfortable. Like,
Sure.
I'm not, like, terrified that I don't have rent for December coming up, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing for March.
Right. I'm at the point, it's I don't have steady income.
Same.
So I have like $12,000 in my bank account. So it's not, I'm not like, holy shit, how am I going to pay next month's rent?
Yeah.
But I definitely am not like, I could just chill for the next year. I'm
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, the TV stuff I have done doesn't pay shit. And even the stand-up gigs, you know, like feature life is, it's fun and it's glamorous.
Are you not headlining?
I'm just now starting to headline. Yeah, I'm going to be in New York this coming weekend. Be headlining out there, and then I'm headlining Charlotte and then Dayton, Cincinnati. So I'm finally starting to do that.
Yeah.
But for the past 5-6 years, it's just been featuring, and you get to go on the road with these cool people, and like you're doing a dream come true shows.
Yeah,
but then
I'm
like the
doing
pay is like, I got super lucky with opening for Dane, man. Like we're taking a private jet to places and stuff. It's amazing.
He goes
man.
big.
I've never even been in a limo before, so like
Never?
a private jet, no clue what it looks like on the inside.
My 29th birthday, I had a Hummer limo pick me and my friends up from right here
That's
and
amazing.
take us to CC's Pizza in Corona. So I mixed a little luxury with a little trash.
That's beautiful.
It was a
man.
trashy limo too. It was like an old trashy Hummer limo. There was like pieces of the ceiling missing up top. I didn't know that going in.
How much was it?
It was expensive. I probably paid $500.
Just to go to
the limo?
CC's Pizza.
Yeah,
Are you
just for my
serious?
birthday. Yeah, it was like I considered it my birthday party. You know?
For the
'Cause,
joke,
you know,
it's
there
still
were like
funny.
16 people on a limo going
Right.
there, and it was a great birthday. I would say. There was a little bit of unexpected traffic. So I was expecting it to be about 40 minutes each way, 45 minutes. It took
Yeah.
a little over an hour each way.
At least you got to enjoy
and
the
it was
limo.
slightly too long. It was like, if it was but it was good. It was a great birthday.
When's your birthday?
September 22nd.
Oh, mine's the 10th.
But this was, I'm 30 now. I just turned 30. So this
30?
was a year ago. How old are you?
I just turned 24.
So cool.
Dude, it feels so weird.
You started comedy when you were like 15, right?
15, yeah, dude. It'll be 9 years in April.
I started when I was 22, which still
crazy young.
is like pretty young.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I'd say it's on average probably on the younger side. But I remember being 22 and go, man, I wish I started when I was 18.
I wish I had started
17.
when I was like 13.
Yeah.
Would it have made a difference? Probably not.
No, probably
If anything,
not.
I think I would have been less ready for the opportunities that I did get.
Right.
Because there's plenty in my early career that I'm like, I really thought I was ready for it. Like when I did Wild 'N Out, I auditioned for Wild 'N Out 2 years before I actually got it.
Really?
And I fucking tanked
So
so bad.
you auditioned more than once?
Yeah,
you
I
re-auditioned.
So they did like, I think it was 4 or 5 seasons in the beginning, like with the original cast, like Deray and Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, all those people. I think it was like 4 or 5 seasons, and they took like a 2 or 3 year break. And when they rebooted the whole thing, I was in Atlanta and they were holding auditions down there, and they were doing it at my manager at the time's club. So of course, like I got an audition for it, and Nick actually knew who I was just because I used to do a really hacky bit about how terrible he was.
Really?
Yeah.
You used to do a bit bashing him, and you got to be on a show. That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I stand by the joke still.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went up and I was like, I think I was 17 at the time. And I tanked hard. Like I was not ready. I was so nervous. I was so young, and I really thought I was ready.
Who knows?
And then 2 years comes around, and I audition again, and I ended up getting it. And I was like, I would not have been.
So you got it when you were
wasn't
19?
ready. Yeah, I just turned 19, and even then, I wasn't quite as ready as I thought I was.
But you know what? It's also one of those things. I'm not saying you weren't ready. I don't know. I don't follow your comedy well enough to know how good you were when you were 17. But it's like, you never feel ready. 2 years from now, you're going to be like, at 24, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to look back and yeah, you go, I take my audition, and you probably did. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, everyone has bad sets forever. I had a bad set yesterday.
I think it's just weird that you kind of just have to be prepared because you don't know when that opportunity is going to come.
Like, if you could go back in time, what made you, do you think now, like, not ready when you were 17? Your material wasn't good enough? Were you too nervous?
I think
what was your
confidence wasn't quite there.
You weren't confident enough.
No, like I was still like scared to commit to stuff. I don't think I truly believed I was like funny yet. I think I was like, okay, this is a really cool job that I'm starting to do, and like maybe this will be a career, and all these exciting things are happening so early.
What city did you start in?
Ohio, Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, and then I moved to Atlanta for like 3 months to perform at my manager at the time's club, like the summer between my junior and senior year.
What club is that?
The Atlanta. Sorry, Uptown Comedy Corner.
Okay.
It's in Atlanta, and it's like notoriously like the most ghetto urban crowd like in the country.
That's kind of cool though.
It really was.
Was it
like,
when you were in Columbus? Was it like a urban scene or?
Yes and no.
Because Columbus is a college town, right?
Yes.
So it's mostly just like white kids.
Parts of it, yes.
Yeah.
The campus area, yes. Downtown, yes. But there's some parts to it that definitely aren't great. It's a pretty crime-ridden city. It's just it just looks nicer. So I started in Columbus at the Funny Bone there, and from there it's really weird. From there, other comics started to ask me to do their independent shows or whatever. But it was always black people.
Because like I heard of you. I don't remember when I heard of you. I guess when you moved. When did you move to LA? What year?
2013.
Yeah. So right when you moved to LA, everyone was talking like, "Oh, there's that." How old were you at the time?
17.
Yeah, they're like 17-year-old kid is performing at the Laugh Factory all the time. So people kind of like. That's what I first heard. I was like, "Oh, there's a 17-year-old who gets spots at the Laugh Factory."
Oh, that's why everybody hates me.
No,
it
wasn't
sense.
even hate. It was just like that's what everyone's known for something. If you're known, like you got to be known for something. And
Very
you didn't have
true.
any TV credits.
Yeah.
So it was just, that's the guy who's 17 who's in at the Laugh Factory.
And even that came from like, it was Chocolate Sundays first before I got to like the actual Laugh Factory spots. For whatever reason, I've just come to find black comedians are way more generous with opportunities. I feel like white people
and you
never
stand
want to
out
give
there
rooms.
more.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's like you try and get in the white shows. It's like, get in line, dude. There's 30 other
Exactly.
white guys. But if you do get in line at the black shows, they're like, okay, you're one of 4 white guys trying to do this here.
Like
so.
how many times you've been a part of like a booking process for a show and they're like, well, we got to get a black person or we have to get a girl or whatever. Like that's the diversity in the show. I'm easy diversity and like I'll actually be decent. So if it's like a safe
was
bet.
that like, but that wasn't a conscious choice. That was just kind of where you were getting love in the beginning and you just found a place there. And so you're like, yeah, I can do that.
All of my friends since kindergarten have been black. So it's for whatever reason, it was extremely comfortable. It wasn't like a transition or anything like that. It was just like, these are the people I'm usually around anyway. So, I mean, I'm glad they like my sense of humor. And luckily I've been able to transition over to pretty much half black, half white audience. Because the last thing I wanted was to be Gary
I think
Owen.
every comedian wants to just be a comedian.
Yeah.
No comedian, black or white or Asian, wants to go, I want to just perform for Asian people.
Even though a shtick is what really kind of blows you up. Like Joe Coy's like marketed that Filipino audience, Sebastian with the Italians, Ali Wong for the Asians. Like you corner that fucking market easily.
Yeah, business wise, it's probably a good decision.
And you know Gary Owen.
Yeah, of course.
Like he's cornered the white dude doing all black crowds. But that's not what I wanted.
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was like, do you think you'll be like a Gary Owen type 10 years from now, or
I don't think so, because Hollywood doesn't really fuck with that.
Yeah,
like it's fucked up, but they don't look on urban comedy as gently as, I don't know, mainstream white comedians or whatever. So I mean, I think it'd be dumb for me to try to corner myself like that. I mean, if it happens inevitably, that's fine. I'll take my fan base. Whoever wants to laugh and have a good time, that's my audience gladly. But I mean, I'd like to appeal to any and everybody if I can. Do you have a specific like demographic for your comedy that you usually go for?
I would say I also would like to appeal to everyone. But I'm a little edgy, so I definitely don't appeal towards sensitive people or like college students.
Oh,
like young women basically are not my audience for the most part. I would say, I mean, there's obviously
young dudes hate me. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I would say dirtbags like me.
Interesting.
My demographic, or at least what would look like dirtbags. I think they're nice people.
I feel like that's like the stereotypical like stand-up comedy fan, though. Is like a little bit of scummy people who are like, I like a little bit of a fucked up sense of humor. It's fun.
Yeah, so I would say, people who wear flannels.
Casual flannel. I'm the same way though. Like I'm in that demographic and in that age range, and I hate colleges. I know the money's great there. I'd rather make $400 at a comedy club than $1,000 at a college.
Same.
I know I'm gonna have a miserable
I'd say
time.
people with baseball hats, beards. Those are my people.
Do you ever get worried that you'll accidentally like start to sound like any of the people you open for?
I don't worry about that too much, and the reason is I don't enjoy comedy anymore.
Really?
So I barely watch comedy.
Why is that?
I think I'm just around it too much, and I'm too obsessed with it at this point in my life. It's too much of my life to where when I watch it, I can't enjoy it as a fan anymore. Or it's very hard. Like occasionally,
very few
if
people.
It's someone I like, or occasionally I'll just be, you know what, I'm going to go in the room and watch for a half hour. But that's rare.
Yeah, it's a handful of comics.
So if ever someone says to me, oh, this person does a joke just like yours, I go, well, I couldn't take it from them because I've never seen them.
Yeah.
And that's not why I do it, but that's not why I don't watch comedy, but that's just one of the perks is if I ever take someone's joke, it's parallel thinking because I've never seen them.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And if I hear someone do a similar premise of one of mine, I'm like, I don't want to do it then.
Yeah.
Like someone sent us that clip or whatever of a premise of mine sounds similar to yours. I'm like, I'll scrap it then.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
The gun joke. Yeah.
It's not original to me anymore. Like, I don't want it anymore.
I mean, I'll do the same thing, especially if someone's like more successful and I see them doing it on joke. I'm like, well, it's theirs now.
Doesn't that suck,
the hierarchy. But I am not good at writing new stuff. It's my biggest weakness in comedy. I have jokes on the road that I've been doing for 3 years.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But there's like, there is a structure to it where it's like, how long are you supposed to save up jokes for like, say your first hour especially, you know what I mean? That can't be an hour of what like your most recent in that year material. I would assume it's a culmination of your best shit
Joe
of your
Rogan
career.
Or whatever,
Exactly.
Crystalia, it's like,
But I'm not that type of writer either, though. Like like Neil Brennan can sit down at a desk every day for 3 hours and just write new material. It has to happen in my life. I'm usually joking around with friends, and like that will spark something, and I'll go, "Ooh, I can write about this."
Yeah. Same here. And maybe that's just me being lazy.
I think the same thing.
Or maybe down the road it'll change, but that's just where I'm at right now.
I try to tell myself it's life experiences because like with us being so young, yourself included still, it's like we haven't been through as much as people who, have been doing comedy 20 years and are just now doing their second or third special, like they've had so much time to get good and see stuff and fine tune material.
Yeah,
for
and that's another thing.
years.
I find myself having more material when I go out and in doing a new experience. If I'm traveling, not for comedy, or if I'm going and doing something. Do you still feel like the young guy when you're around?
Yes and no. Yes, because I am.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm like the youngest
24 is still
person
young.
on the scene here in LA. Jack Knight I think is like maybe 1 year older than me, I think. I think Pete Davis is like
I mean, there's
2
some other young
years.
people. There's like Jack Knight, Ali Makovsky.
How
and
old's
then, of
Ali?
course-
She's like 25, 26, right?
No, I think she's younger. I think she, I don't remember, but she's your age probably, 23, 24.
I do, but I've just been around.
I mean, you still are a
Only-
young person.
Yeah.
But I mean talking even, because now there's new people who are starting there's new 18-year-olds starting,
Yeah.
new 22-year-olds. But overall, when you're around, when you're on a show, on a lineup, do you still go, oh, I'm the young guy, or do you feel like, oh, I'm kind of seasoned, I've been doing this now?
Internally, I don't know if ego is the right word, but mentally, I kind of feel like I belong in the lineup at this point, because I mean, I'll be doing it 9 years this spring. I'm having good sets. I'm gearing up to do my special soon. Like things feel right, but when I am looking at people who like Joe, I did a show the other night with Joey Diaz, Nick Swartz, and Bobby Lee. Like it's all these people who I fucking love their stand up. I've watched them for 10 years.
Yeah.
And compared to them, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking nobody. I shouldn't be on this show. Like I don't deserve to be on the show with these people.
Right.
So I mean, yes and no. But with me turning 24, I kind of feel like this is like the last year that anyone will even be like, oh, he's this kid, you know? He's this kid comic. I feel like at 25, people are like, what do you have to say?
Right. Then you're you're a young man.
Yeah. Now it's like you're an adult. No more like sympathy laughs or like, oh, give the kid a chance. Like, no, you're a working adult now.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you don't look like, you're like Jack too.
Oh, thanks, man.
When did that start?
Sweet. Dude, like I'd say I started working out like 3 years ago. Like I am like a super skinny person. Like it's so hard for me to like add any kind of weight whatsoever. So I have to work out like every day. I have to be eating a lot all the time. If I go like 2 days without working out, I'm super skinny. Like I just lose everything. And that was probably about 3 years ago. But now it's like it's routine. Like if I go a day or two without working out, I just feel not great.
So 2 days you feel guilty.
Yeah, I really do.
Do you do a lot of hotel gyms on the road?
Unfortunately, they're the worst, dude. You know, be like 2 dumbbells.
Well,
and
what
like
do
a
you do when you're
treadmill.
in town in LA?
LA Fitness and boxing.
And do you prefer LA Fitness to a hotel gym?
Oh, absolutely.
See, for me, I like working out in like private.
Really?
So if I go to 24-hour Fitness or LA Fitness, I don't like it. Not that I clearly don't work out that much, but when I do work out, I want it to be by myself, no one watching.
Do you find yourself like, can you get motivated by yourself though?
I mean, I definitely can get motivated better if I had a trainer or someone I was working out with, but I don't get motivated by just random people around me working out. That doesn't motivate me.
That
like, motivates you?
That's exactly what does it for me. I'm like, okay, I'm in the place where everyone else is doing the same thing I'm supposed to be doing. Like, do it. You do what everybody else is doing in this place right now.
Yeah, there's probably lower rest periods.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't want to be the guy on my phone, and everybody's being like, this fucking guy on his phone not even working out.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of judgment that I'm fueled by it rather than intimidated by it.
But was there an initial thing that made you start working out? Was it hanging around people that worked out a lot? Were you like, I'm going to get jacked because I have a lot of free time? What was your...
At first, this was probably 4 years ago. I started to like dabble in a little bit. It was when Dane and I actually started to become closer friends.
Because he works out a lot.
Yeah, he works out a lot. So he would invite me to come like work out with him in the morning. And I was just, at the time, jumping at the opportunity just to hang out.
Right.
So I was like, I'll go with you. And then I started to have fun a little bit. And then I moved in next door to my best friend. And he's like a really big fitness guy or whatever. So he was doing workouts at his house and stuff and tried to start to get me into it. And then once, probably a good 9 months into it, I was like, I feel wrong not doing it now.
Right.
Like I just started to feel better about my body and myself, and career-wise, like if that's, like, I want to transition over to acting at some point, and like those are the kind of roles I'd like to go for. So it's like might as well start putting in the work. Action? Now. Yeah, man, I love that. Kind. I want to do everything.
Those are my favorite kind of movies.
Yeah, dude.
But that's your number one type of acting role you'd want? Would be action?
Like dramatic action. Yeah, I love it. Like
just
comedy
is
fun, and like we already do that. You know, I could do a comedy film and just be myself, but I think it'd be really fun to step out of a comfort zone and really reach for something that's not innately you.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
So I'm just trying to take all the steps possible for, like we said, like when that opportunity comes. I don't want to get an audition tomorrow and they're like, oh, we need somebody who's 180 and jacked.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm
you don't have the
170.
acting resume to where you're like, yeah, but I will work out for it. They're like, well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
You're
you need
not-
to
you're not
immediately look the
Christian
part.
Bale. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you can act.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Would you write an action movie or you just want to be in one? Do you write scripts or anything
I do.
like that?
I do. My friend and I are actually about to shoot our pilot, our self-funded, self-produced, self-directed pilot.
Comedy pilot.
It's a little bit of everything. It's a dramedy, I guess.
Do you kill anyone in it?
Yes, but in a funny way. It's not like a badass
Do you
scene.
fuck anyone in it?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's raunchy as fuck. But I'm not like I'd say half of our meetings, the first half, we're taking a script to people and we couldn't figure out why people weren't really getting it. And then we finally sat down with a producer friend of mine, whatever, and he really liked it. And he was like, I love it. And I was like, well, why are all these people not really getting it? He was like, because it looks like a fucking amateur wrote this. My friend and I, we've never taken a script writing class ever. I have no idea how to format things. We basically wrote it like a fucking novel. Like we're writing like every different action and detail.
Yeah,
like,
you got to get like a working writer to at least go through it before you
at least do the
submit
physical
it.
writing of it. Yes,
You can still write it your way and then give it to someone who knows what people like.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. It's so intricate to go dialogue by dialogue by dialogue. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even good at writing for myself,
It takes
let
a long
alone
time.
like making up this entire scenario.
It takes a long time. It's easier when you're doing it with a writing partner, though. That helps.
And it's got to be
you
a
have friends.
project you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a full vision.
So
for
no
it.
one bit, and you're like, well, let's just shoot it then.
Yeah, and then since we've decided to do that on our own, we've put together an amazing team. We've got a great director, a great producer, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's looking like it's probably going to go to Netflix. Our production company. Our production company has a first look deal with them. So
Oh, that's great.
assuming everything turns out well, once we start
I thought you meant
filming,
you were literally doing it, so it's not on your own anymore. Now Netflix is making it.
When I say on my own, I mean like there's no network directly attached to it. There's not like it's not like Miramax or some shit attached to it. It's an independent production company. They do a lot of really big deals, but like they're not well known. It's just very intricate, small
But you're not
connections.
paying for it.
I made. No, we're reaching out to other investors. But again, I'm looking at it as in like I have to do that. That's usually a network's job or a production company itself's job. Yeah. And we still have to piece all this stuff together.
That's pretty exciting.
It's
kind of fun too. You learn a lot. You know how to do it again.
Well, this project, we've been working on it for we filmed a sizzle for it. It'll be 2 years ago in March. And it didn't turn out any way that we wanted it to. So I feel like a normal person would have just been like, we're fucked. Like, scrap it. This isn't going to work well. But we've just stuck with it for 2 years. And in hindsight, kind of like wilding out and stuff, we're like, we weren't ready 2 years ago. We needed this time to piece all this stuff together. Because when I finally brought it to the guy we found to direct it, he was like, really funny script. I get it. I love it. He's like, what we need to do is shoot a sizzle. I'm like, well, here's the thing we shot 2 years ago. And he was like, this is great. He's like, now you got to do an episode arc. I was like, here, we have everything fucking ready. He was like, oh my God. It's like, you just needed somebody to be the glue to push it forward. Yeah. I'm like, that's all we've needed. And Hollywood, unfortunately, doesn't have much of an imagination anymore. They just want to reboot everything. So it's especially hard to sell an original idea.
They don't want straight white guys. There's a lot of, who knows.
Like
they don't want a guy who take a chance on a guy either.
Oh, they don't
take your race out of it. They don't want like, oh yeah, we'll give you your first pilot. They want to go, oh, you've had 2 pilots? Okay, we'll give you another one then.
Oh, you have 1 million followers? Cool. You're already famous? Cool. We'll just put you on a show and soak up your viewers. Like it's so pathetic to me.
Yeah, you just got to do it though, and you're doing it.
I mean, I'm trying, man. I'm not happy, but I'm.
What are you into besides in the show business world and working out?
Big in like the outdoors and just sports in general.
You go camping?
Yeah, dude, I love camping. I went up to Yosemite for my birthday we went at Labor Day weekend.
Who'd you go with?
I went with like just 3 guy friends. Paul Elia, you know Paul?
Yeah, I know Paul.
I went up there with him and a couple other friends. And we'll do these a couple times a year. No chicks, dude. Just go up there, Brokeback Mountain style.
Mushrooms?
No, dude. See, okay, this is such a fun conversation. I love acid. It's like my favorite thing.
Okay.
And I had a bad trip in February for the first time, self-caused.
What caused it?
I can't say too much on here. I mixed stuff throughout an entire party.
Okay, got it.
And then when the party was winding down around like...
Oh, I thought you meant like self-caused, like a mental state.
Well,
No.
leading up to that.
Okay.
So when at the end of the night came and like I was starting to feel a little bit tired, party's over and everything, I lay down on the couch and I take NyQuil. And I'm already on acid.
Yeah.
I take NyQuil. And then I forget that I take the NyQuil. My friend was like, do you want to smoke? And I was like, oh, that helps me sleep. I was like, cool. So I did that. And then
Okay, so you're
everything
on too much
chemically
shit,
reacted.
yeah.
And then my brain thought, oh, shit, what if you took too much? And that sent me into a panic attack
Got
where I
it.
literally thought I was going to die. If my friend wasn't next to me, I would have been the guy who called 911 and spent the rest of my acid trip in the hospital.
Oh my God.
So then I tried to do it again in June. Not enough recovery time for my panic attack, by the way. And that one, I caused myself because all I kept thinking was, don't have a panic attack again. Don't have a panic attack again. And the moment you think that, you give yourself a panic attack. So I haven't done any hallucinogenics since then, but eventually I will. I think it's an amazing experience.
I did acid one time. I was in Australia, and an audience member handed me a tab of acid, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm in Australia."
It's tiny, right?
I didn't take it right then and there. What?
It's tiny, right?
Yeah, it's just a tiny little.
Isn't that crazy?
You know, like smaller than your fingernail, literally.
And it's like $10, by the way, for viewers at home. It's so cheap. You can get it anywhere.
And it's cheap, yeah. I've since then ordered it on the dark web.
Have you really?
Yeah, dark web.
What?
Have you experimented with the dark web?
No, I don't know anything about
It's the shit because it's like Amazon, but for illegal shit.
Do you just Google the dark web?
No, I mean, you can Google the dark web, but you don't go to the dark web through Chrome or Safari.
Yeah.
You have to download a separate program to access the dark web.
Really?
And then you have to find the URL for that program to go to it. So it's kind
So
of
sketchy.
It makes it a little hidden. But you could only buy stuff with cryptocurrency, so Ethereum and Bitcoin, stuff like that. So there's steps. They make it a little difficult to get because they don't want everyone to do it. And they
What's
want to
like
be anonymous.
the craziest thing you think you could buy on there? Like, could you buy like a body part?
Yeah, you could buy anything.
Are you
You
serious?
could buy a child. You could buy.
You can buy a person on the dark web.
You could buy guns. You could buy credit cards. You could buy fake passports. You could buy anything you want.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the cool thing is, it's also like Crime 2.0 in the sense that there's reviews on everything. It's like Amazon. So you could literally look up, type in acid. There will be 100 people selling acid. And you could say, okay, 700 people have bought acid from this guy. They've all left them 5-star reviews. He says exactly how he made the acid. He has pictures. You know you're getting the best quality. To me, I feel safer buying drugs on the dark web than I do from a drug dealer in Los Angeles.
Because he just wants to sell it.
And he doesn't like... So if I were to get acid right now in Los Angeles, I'd hit up my friend who does acid, right? More than me. Yeah. And I'd be like, can you get me some acid? And he'd be like, yeah. And he gets it from his guy. No one really... It goes through so many people. By the time he gives it to me, all he can tell me is, this is good acid. You know? Like, that's really all he can say. You know? But I don't know where that acid's from. Has he done it? Hopefully.
Yeah.
On the dark web, okay, 700 people have done it. They've all left comments saying it's good. There's a picture of exactly what I'm getting and the exact chemicals he put into it and how he did it. So it's actually safer than getting drugs off the street. And that same thing goes for any other drugs you want to buy. So if you wanted to buy mushrooms or cocaine or anything like that, it's safer.
Dude, I have so much to do when I get home.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's cheaper usually too.
Really?
Yeah, it's cheaper because again, there's all that competition. So it's at market price and you could get whatever quantity you want.
Blows my mind that something that is like a 12-hour drug and like fucks you up is $10. And
$10
weed is
and
like
that
$50.
Oh yeah, so someone handed me the acid in Australia. I'm like, fuck it. First time in Australia, make this a memorable experience. I'll do acid for the first time. So I do it, but at this point it's midnight when I'm taking it.
Oh no.
And I did it with one other dude who I was friends with, and we were with a group of people, right? And it was fun. For like 2 hours, I was like, cool, acid, trippy. Then at 2 a.m. hits, everyone's like, all right, I'm going to bed. Good night.
Oh no.
Have a good night.
That's the worst part.
So now I'm in my bed in Australia, and it's 2 a.m, and I'm not having a bad trip because I'm like, you know, I didn't like lose control of my mind. I'm still me. So I'm thinking like, okay, this is chill, but I'd like to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
And I can't because I'm
not
just
a chance,
tripping
dude.
out on acid.
You really
in my
can't
bed.
sleep for like probably a good 17 or 18 hours after you take acid.
Right.
Like,
So
it's
I like
so
forced
much.
myself to close my eyes and try to sleep, but I didn't sleep. And then I just woke up. I'm still like kind of on acid, and I have to like go to the airport
do your day.
do my day. And it was just weird.
Oh, dude,
But it wasn't like I'm having a bad trip. It was just like, okay, I wish this didn't last for 12 hours.
Yeah, I'd say if it was a 5 or 6 hour drug, it'd be perfect. But usually about 5 or 6 hours in, you're like, okay, I'm tired. I'd really like to not be high now.
Yeah.
But the acid's like, no, you got a strong 4 more hours. And then you could kind of be like, okay, like it's starting to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's an amazing experience. Like for me at least, like it opened me up more like, I don't know, I guess spiritually or whatever. You just start to look at things a little bit differently, a little bit deeper. And I think it's nice. It's a little bit awakening.
Yeah. Yeah. I would recommend everyone, if you're listening out there, if you want some advice, it's do acid.
Yeah, do it once.
At least
do it once.
I'd say even twice to like after
To
that
make
first
sure.
time, you're like, okay, I did it. And you're now just do it. Yeah. With a more open mind.
Oh yeah. And I went the longest time before, like I didn't really have any like huge like hallucinations like of like, you know, like the plants coming to life or whatever. Like
Right.
they show you on TV. Like it's never anything like that.
Right.
The last one I took it when I was trying after the panic attack, it was like the strongest I'd ever had. I actually chickened out. My friends all took it, and you're supposed to leave it on your tongue or whatever, let it dissolve, whatever. And after like, usually takes about 5 minutes to dissolve. At like 2 minutes, I took my piece out because I panicked. I went, I don't think I want to do this, or at least I don't want to do it as strong as like the whole thing. So I took it out, and I don't know if all of it already absorbed or what, but
Yeah,
it was
probably.
the most fucked up I'd ever been. Like,
Yeah, if you have that thing in your mouth for 2 minutes, you did acid.
oh, dude, we were at this Airbnb in Joshua Tree, and
that's the
they
place
had
to
like
do it.
all this like Mexican
That's where everyone does it.
country like paintings and stuff or whatever, and that shit was moving so much. It was.
But did it end up being good
terrifying.
or it was bad?
No,
That was a
I
bad
forced
one.
myself into a panic attack.
And the whole time.
It was great for the first 2 hours. Yeah, it was great. I was like, oh, it's amazing. I'm laying outside in the hammock. It's full moon outside in Joshua Tree, so you see all the stars. And I'm just laying there in the hammock, and I had one thought of, this is really nice. I'm glad I'm not having a panic attack. And then, boom, I was like, oh, fuck. And like, have you ever had a panic attack?
Not like a drug panic attack. I've just had regular panic
dude,
attack.
it is like you
Little
can't
ones.
see anything. You can't
Yeah, I've never had
breathe.
that. Oh, no, I've never had that.
Like, you know, like a
Yeah.
coffee stirrer, like that tiny little shit.
Yeah.
Imagine running, like sprinting a mile, right? Like
And then
heavy
breathing through
breathing,
that.
and then you can only breathe through that.
So you feel like you're going to die.
At 100%. It's the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. And because the first time I was on acid, so like that shit's already super overpowering.
Which would you rather have, a panic attack or get your heart broken severely?
Heartbroken, 100%.
You'd rather have heart broken.
Yeah, because at least that is like, oh, what do I do? This is like, I'm dying. It's now. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I had a moment where I thought I was like, I wish I could die. Like, if I had a gun in my hand when I was having a panic
You
attack,
would've shot yourself?
100%. Just because I was like, I'm so miserable right now.
So you're in physical pain?
Yeah, it's like, it's so hard to describe, but the perfect word to describe it is
Yeah,
you
I've
were just
definitely never had that,
massively uncomfortable. Where you're just like, I don't like anything that's happening right now. It's awful.
That
I wouldn't
sounds like a
wish it
nightmare.
on anybody, dude.
Yeah.
That's what made me be like, I mean,
And so
I guess
have you
I
done
to-
acid since?
just that time in Joshua Tree, and I caused it again. So I'm
But
probably
since
gonna wait
then? Yeah, wait a long ass time.
at least a year, at least until I forget what a panic attack feels like.
Maybe the acid was too strong, or did everyone else have a good time?
Everyone else had a great time.
Okay, so it wasn't the acid's
But
fault.
I also no, it's definitely just I think it's a mark you hit doing drugs after a certain while.
Yeah.
Because I mean I also smoke weed too, which I just started to do over the past like 2 years. And my friend actually poisoned us earlier this year.
What?
Yeah, dude.
What do you mean?
Okay, do you know what distillate is? So a friend of ours works at a dispensary, so he's always giving us like so much random free shit. And distillate is like I'm probably gonna butcher this for any like pot nerds out there, but it's like a kind of like a wax, right?
Okay.
And you can like you can smoke it, you can put it on food for like an edible type thing. And so my friend gave my other friend this little jar of distillate, and he's making chicken strips. He's
So
cooking in his
this
house.
is Is distillate a type of weed?
Yeah, it's like
a hash,
it's like it's like the purest form of THC possible.
Okay, so it's like a really good hash oil type of thing. Okay.
And my friend's making chicken strips, and he makes probably 24 chicken strips, and they're about this big. And he's like, I'm making a lot. You want some? It's like, yeah, sure, I'll have some. He's like, I put a little bit of this on there, so we'll get like a little edible high. I was like, fantastic, I'm so in. Yeah. And he's putting about a pinky nail's worth on like each chicken tender.
How many chicken tenders did you eat?
We had about 12 each.
Oh my God.
And like, it's such a small amount, and it looks innocent.
Yeah.
That you're like, how could it less than this? Would I even feel anything? And we get done eating it, and I'm just like, dude, I feel horrible. And he's like, yeah, feel awful.
Oh no.
And I black out again, can't see anything. And I'm like trying to find my way over to the bathroom. I throw up for the first time in probably 10 years.
Oh my
gosh.
Barf
everywhere. And I eventually just pass out on the couch. But it was, again, miserable feeling.
I don't like edibles. To this day, I don't take edibles.
But this kind of ruined it for
too
me.
Much. Yeah.
We talked to our friend after. We were like, what the fuck did you
Maybe
give us?
Maybe that's it. I just don't like, I need the tiniest dose. I feel like every time I take edibles, I feel like I'm allergic.
Uh-huh.
And that same thing happens. I never like a panic attack where I can't breathe, but I'm always just like, this is not weed. This is a real drug.
Really?
I could,
How much are you taking though? Because that's the story I get all the time. It could be just
like a really strong hash brownie, and I'll eat it.
Oh, so that's the thing right there. Don't do a brownie, dude.
Whatever it is, though.
You got to go to like the shops specifically, and you get like the pre-made little individual things.
I'll do that.
You don't need to do more than 10 milligrams.
That's the problem.
Ever.
I'll always like, because again, it's so innocent. So you'll get like a chocolate bar. I'll eat half the chocolate bar.
But that's like 50 milligrams.
Right. So you do it, and then all of a sudden you're in a car accident.
Exactly.
And you're just like, this is too intense of a drug for me.
You got to know how much you're doing.
Or you wake up the next day and you take a shit, and your shit smells like weed. And you're like, that was too strong. I ate too much weed.
Like you shit a whole like nugget.
Yeah. So
our friend had told us like 2 days after, he was like, you're supposed to use a thumbnail for the entire meal, like all of it.
Right.
So
like
he basically
into
did
the
that.
whole batter, you should do a little microscopic.
Yes.
You had 12 of those.
12 of those, yes. Yeah. He was like,
luckily you can't die from weed.
But it's the closest. I wished I was dying. I wished for death so badly. Like, please just take me.
You can't die, but you could make it so you have a terrible night.
You know, like when you're really drunk and you lay down in your bed and you're spinning and like your ears are ringing, you're like, I just want to fall asleep. Like, please just make me pass out. That's literally what it felt like. Just miserable. I hate this. And now it'll get to a point where it's like, if I start to get just a little bit more high than I would like, I'll start to almost I can freak myself out again, being like, "Fuck, dude, don't do it again." But luckily, I've kind of I've watched a couple documentaries on it and stuff like that, and I've really just kind of learned to just like I'll think of like Woodstock, right?
Right. Like all you could do is try and like gain what little control of your mind you can. Be like, this is all gonna go away.
Yeah,
you're good. It's gonna be good.
I'll think of like the 70s and like Woodstock and shit. I'd be like, people were fucked up out of their mind,
but at the same time, they probably were on other shit, but from weed, I don't think they could get edibles like they can now.
Ah, that's very true.
In the 70s, you'd take a whole pot brownie, you'd be like, chill. Yeah. Now you eat a whole pot brownie, and you're like, fuck, I just fucked my whole entire 24 hours up.
I don't know which would have been stronger, though. Back then, when they didn't really know too much about like portioning and the certain specific shit to put in it, and maybe it was stronger then, or do we have the you think it's stronger now?
Because now there's literally scientists saying, how can I make the strongest edible known to mankind? Back then, there was no one doing that.
It was just
now
some
there's people
guy
in labs and shops going, this will fuck your life up. And back then, they're just like, this is good weed.
See, I always meet people whenever they say they don't like edibles. They always share a story of like, yeah, someone gave me a whole cookie and I ate the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, dude, you probably took like 10 times more than you should have.
Yeah, and that's why when I hear stories like someone fed their class a thing of cookies as a prank or a weed prank, or they spiked a punch with weed punch, all of a sudden I'm like, that's fucked up. It's not, it sounds funny.
You don't know how much you're giving somebody.
You've never had too much weed. It's fucked up.
It's miserable,
It's a miserable day. And they should be arrested.
I have a friend of mine from Chicago. He flew in, this was last year, and he's a big, like, what drug are we doing type guy. Like, he just fucking go with it. He'd never done acid before. He'd never been to LA before either. And we went out to to West Hollywood to visit my roommate at the time. He worked at the Abbey. So I was like, I'll take you to go see him at work or whatever. Also, like, you should see how gay this place is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Abbey's like, whether you're gay or straight, when someone's from out of town, you're like, if you've never been to the Abbey, it'll blow your mind.
yeah, you
like,
got to see this shit. Like, it's amazing. And we get in there and I lose him. And you've been to the Abbey. It's packed all the time with just sweaty dick everywhere.
Yeah.
And I lose him.
Asses.
And he left his phone in my apartment. So like I have no way of contacting him.
Right.
I leave and I meet this person at the bar. I'm like, hey, have you seen my friend? He looks like this. She goes, oh, I saw him leave. And I was like, maybe he's gonna head back to my house to play it safe. Like maybe he can remember my address or at least a landmark to drop him off near. So I go back home, not there.
Right.
I don't hear or see from my friend for an entire night. And then the next day I get a call from an unknown number and it's him being like, hey, I'm at this address or whatever. And then he tells me about his entire night.
And he went home and he turned gay.
Yeah, he fucked like 8 dudes. No, he ended up at like, he started at the Abbey and then he did leave, not around the time that the girl said. So she must have been talking about somebody else. He was like, no, I kept looking for you forever. But he's like, then the acid took over and I was just kind of like lost. So he went from the Abbey, then he went to Warwick, which I mean, like, good luck being a dude getting in Warwick by yourself.
Right.
And so the Abbey, Warwick, then he went to one house in the hills and then he went to another house in the hills. And then
all
he
from
crashed
just
at some
random
girl house.
strangers.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cool guy.
That's
sociable
LA,
guy.
by the way. Like, you have no idea
If
what's going
you're
to happen.
cool and sociable, that shit doesn't happen to me. I get social anxiety. If I go to a club and I lose my friend, I am going and finding a computer to borrow and messaging you on Facebook.
I'm the
I need
same
to get
way.
back in your place.
I always think it's weird whenever people find out that you're a comic. They're always like, oh, so you like love being center of attention. It's like, no, I not almost ever.
Yeah, on
only
stage.
being on stage is the
Yeah.
only time I want that. I moved schools a lot in high school, and like
How come?
just fucked up family stuff. Like I lived with my parents, I lived with my grandma, I lived with my grandpa.
You didn't get along with your parents?
No, not
Yeah.
really. My family's super fucked
I went
up.
to military school
Did you really?
because I hated my family.
That's why you went? Like you volunteered to go?
It was like a mutual thing.
Really?
I wanted to go to boarding school, and my parents were like, we're not going to send you
To a cool place.
to a fun place where you could go be a bad kid. If you want to leave, you can go to military school. And I said, fine.
Was it like super strict?
So strict. You have to wake
Really?
up at 6 a.m, run, shave your head once a week,
Are you serious?
shine your shoes and your brass, and make your bed. And
Do you think it was a good
just-
thing that you went?
Yeah, I mean, it was. It's kind of. I think the same. I mean, I always compare it to the military, which is stupid because it's obviously not the same as actual military. But for a 13-year-old kid, I feel like it was.
Structurally, for your day,
It's
it's
very
gotta feel
similar,
like
and
it.
it's not as intense. But I mean, I was 13, so to me, it was as intense, in my opinion. So, like when you talk to any military veteran, they have this bond with other military veterans, and they feel like they've been through something.
Yeah.
And it kind of you leave going, I just went through that hardcore.
When did you
military school.
stop going to military school?
I went for my first 2 years of high school.
Really? And then you
Yeah.
moved back with your parents to
And
regular
then,
school?
Yeah, I came back and I was like working all summer and hooking up with my first girl.
Really?
And so I wasn't home all the time. So my parents were like, "You've really changed. You've behaved a lot. Would you want to go back to public high school?" And I just wanted to keep hooking up with this girl.
Of course.
So I was like, "Yeah, I do." Then of course that ended like 2 days later.
Oh.
And now I'm just stuck in regular high school. And
But with just great cardio.
yeah, that was like the best shape of my life. But it also made me weird. That makes sense.
How so?
Because it was so strict in such an unusual environment. And I had a shaved head, and like whenever you walk outside, you had to look straight ahead, and you weren't allowed to talk, and you had to march around. And so when I went back to public school, first off, went as a junior, so everyone already had their friend groups,
Right.
So that's already a hard environment to go into. But I was also this weird kid from military school,
Yeah.
So I was just kind of a loner.
I get
had
that.
a few friends I knew from middle school before I went away, but I wasn't making many new friends, and I was just
I
felt
totally
like a
get
weirdo.
it. When I moved schools each time living with somebody different, I would move in at the beginning of the school year. And when you move in as a new kid in a big school at the beginning of the school year, you're invisible. Because
Yeah.
everybody's excited to see their friends.
Right.
Like they're not paying attention. They don't even notice
No,
anybody
yeah.
new. So like I pretty much most of high school I was eating lunch by myself, doing group projects by myself. Like, I mean, I didn't mind it so much because, I mean, at least I was in control of it. I knew what the fuck was going to happen. But, like, yeah, it was super antisocial. I was like, I'd rather sit by myself.
But you were also doing stand-up at the same time?
Yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't like, I'm at a new school, nobody knows me or whatever. Like, I would be terrified
And
to
also,
like make
feel
a
like
joke in front of
when
the
you're
class.
in high school and you tell someone you're a stand-up comedian, I mean, you would know better than me. Would they think, like, if you told a 17-year-old kid, I do stand-up, do they think that's cool? Or do they go,
dude,
it's probably not that cool?
I got picked on a ton for it.
Yeah.
Like, because I also played football and baseball, stuff like that, and sports. So, like, you know, those are like the very jock types or whatever. So, like, I'm hanging out with them, but I'm still like the quiet type or whatever. And then they find out I'm doing stand-up and they're like, you don't say anything funny. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I save all of it because y'all are fucking weird. Like, I know you guys don't even like me. Like, why would I waste a joke on you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm still young enough that I could, like, scrap comedy and, like, just start a new career and probably
That's
be fine.
interesting. You are, yeah, 24.
Like,
yeah,
I could still, I'm basically fresh out of college.
Yeah,
like,
you could go back. You didn't go to college, though, right? Which is a good decision.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
it would've
unless
done
you want to
nothing.
be a job that literally requires that degree, college is a waste of money.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so funny. You talked about sensitive people earlier. Like, the internet reaches all the time. When my friends back in Ohio graduated college, I wrote some tweet or whatever being like, congrats to, like, my best friends or whatever for graduating college. Like, I'm a blah, 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 blah. Enjoy student loans debt for the rest of your life, you fucking idiots. Or whatever, whatever was the tweet. It was a joke, clearly, about my best friends. And some fucking assholes who were just like, you know, not everybody gets to live the life that they dream and doesn't have to go to school and work for all this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, they're my friends. I'm obviously congratulating them. And somebody literally went, wow, my friends, like you own them? And I was like, what is happening right now?
You can't even engage. You
can't, dude.
You could post any video, any joke, anything. Doesn't matter how good the joke is, how often you've done it on the road and it kills. Someone on the internet's going to go, that's a bad joke.
Yeah.
And it's offensive.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I've been doing it for 2 years and it's done great 99% of the time.
Oh,
so
yeah. And it's a white person, I'd say 99.9% of the time.
You're getting offended?
Yes.
Yeah, or some liberal cuck, really.
Dude, I even though I have like a pretty good internet presence and a following, I hate it so much. I would delete it all in a heartbeat if I could.
I just I kind of block negativity. If someone's
do it, man.
I mean, I don't get as much. I mean, not that you get hate, but I don't have as many people commenting on my shit. But if someone comments something negative on my YouTube or Instagram, I just blocked.
Interesting.
That's all I do. I don't respond to it. I just go.
I mean, I usually don't respond.
I've responded. I've gone through phases
Oh,
where I responded to
I will
everything.
from time to time for sure, because just I'm incredibly confrontational, as I'm sure you know. Like I can't stand someone talking shit to me, not because of even what they're saying. Like, you can not like me, gladly, but like at least fucking say it to my face. Like, don't talk so much shit from Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit. It drives me insane.
That's the part that annoys me. I mean, I bring this up almost every podcast, just internet trolls. But it's like, if you wouldn't say that to someone in person, don't say it online.
Yeah.
If you would say in person, your joke sucks and it's offensive, fine, say it online.
I can believe you and I can accept it. Yeah. But no, it feels like you just want to hate.
You wouldn't do that. Yeah.
No, of course not. It drives me insane. I think the internet is one of the worst things to happen to humanity.
Have you ever had someone in real life come up to you and said, I hate your comedy, you suck, or something like that?
I've only had it one time, and it was such a funny occurrence. I was at the Comedy House in Columbia, South Carolina. Also, probably top 5 ghetto urban rooms in the fucking world. And so it's like this ghetto, like 400-person audience. It's a great show. I'm crushing. I'm thinking I was probably like 19 at the time. And there's only one white couple in the very front row. They're sitting dead center. Only white people in the entire room. And they're like these white trash hillbilly types. And they're just not laughing. Whatever. Everybody else is enjoying it. And I'm selling merch and stuff after the shows or whatever. A 19-year with a t-shirt, the fucking balls. And
hey, you got to make money.
And people were buying shit or whatever. People come up by, oh, you were so good. And if black people love you, they love you. Like, they really support.
That's I mean, I don't do a whole lot of black shows, but the ones that I've had I think the best set of my life was at an all-black show, and I think one of the worst sets was also at an all-black show.
Dude, there's no middle ground at all.
There's not really much.
I'm selling shirts, and like all these black people they're taking pictures and they're buying merch and everything. It's just a great show, it's great energy. And this white couple comes right up and they go, "You were terrible. You were not funny at all." And all these black people were like, why the fuck are you talking to him like that?
Yeah.
Like, he was clearly like, I just bought a shirt from somebody who was not funny. Like, that shit's so rude. Like, they just like were much more warming about it and kind of like shut them up for me. But like, that's the only time someone has ever walked up.
So did you engage more? We were like, oh, why? Or no, that's it. They're just like not funny, and you're like, okay, have a good night.
Yeah, because it was such an obvious like, you're wrong.
Right.
Like,
at least there's that.
Yeah.
Because I've had a couple times. I think people have done it to me 3 or 4 times. A couple of times, I had good sets, and I was like, okay, well, the audience laughed, so you're shut up. But one time, I just bombed horrendously, and then that's when you feel even worse, because then they say it to you, and you go, they're right.
What'd they say when you bombed?
I had like the worst set. I was brand new to comedy. I think I was doing it less than a year, and I was doing 20 minutes, which I didn't have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But someone offered me the gig, and I was like, I'm doing it. It's going to be a great learning experience.
Yeah.
So I do it. I planned on spacing out the 5 to 10 minutes I did have. I did it all up top because I was bombing with my good stuff. So I bombed for 20 minutes.
The good stuff doesn't work, and you're like, oh, they're definitely not going to like this.
And now I planned on spacing it out, and now I had 10 more minutes, and all my good stuff was gone. So it was just got worse. It was just horrible, right? Crickets. And then after the show, when I bomb, I don't know how you are or even not even just bomb, when I have a set that I'm not happy with, I don't want to see anyone from the audience.
I'm the same way. Yeah,
so
I wouldn't go try to sell anything if I didn't love my set.
Yeah, so I'm like in the back. This was not at a comedy club though, so I was just kind of away from everyone and the opposite side of the venue. And this old lady made it a point to come up to me.
She walked over to you.
She walked over to me and she goes, "You were the comic, right?" And I thought she was going to say something like nice, like, "I thought you were funny," or something.
Don't let this get you down.
Yeah, something like,
keep it up, you know?
Inspiring. And she goes, "I come here every week and this was the worst." She goes, "You were the worst comedian I've ever seen."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, you're going to die soon. So like, you don't have to see me
I
when
don't
I'm
drink.
very successful.
I went and drank that night.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I barely drink. Like I don't like to taste alcohol. I don't.
That's brutal, dude. See, I feel like I was lucky enough to kind of skip that in the beginning, because like the first 9 years is just now. So I've always kind of had that, like, I don't want to, you could call it a crutch of being a kid. Like I've never been booed.
I think, I was like 22. I was.
There's a little bit of like, give him a fucking chance. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna boo
for the most part.
a kid most of the time.
Right. Yeah,
now,
I mean,
plenty of sets in silence.
I don't think I've ever been booed off stage.
I think silence is worse than a boo though.
Oh yeah,
boo is like, oh, I can leave.
When I first
God.
started, I said I'd rather get booed than silence, and I still mean that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had hundreds of silent sets.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, all right, I hope they like this next thing.
Okay, so is there anything in your life? I'm 30 years old. I have a lot of wisdom to teach you. Is there anything in your life that you need help on?
How do you?
This could be relationships.
It can be
money.
anything?
It could be anything. Family problems. I could fix it. I could fix your whole life right now if you're ready to open up.
What would be just your advice for, this is going to be so deep. You ready for this?
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay, I'm ready.
What advice would you give for just not wanting to give up? Because, like, with this...
Are you actually thinking about giving up?
I think about probably every other week. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this
Would
anymore.
you actually quit? I can't imagine you quitting. We don't know each other that well, but, like, you're in too deep at this point. I would be shocked if I saw you a year from now and you're like, yeah, man, I'm working for my dad's company and I gave it a good shot.
Funny enough, I think the only thing I could do is literally like the military or something, where it's like it's so fucking far from what I was doing, where no one would ever know me really from it.
Imagine running into you from here and going, yeah, I joined the army.
I mean, really, me neither. It's just
realistically,
there's so many weird attributes about this industry and like my kind of part in it, because obviously with being like the young person or whatever, you always have, or at least I've always had people being like, if you're not a millionaire by 25, you fucked up. Like you are in the sweet spot. You're white, you're decent looking, like you're a nice guy, you're talented, like you got everything going for it. You should be fucking here.
Well, you're still 24, so you still have a year to be.
Well, I have 1 year to do it, all right, and then I'm gonna kill myself.
I would meet people who gave themselves like a time frame. Mm-hmm. If I don't make it by this point, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
I never gave myself that.
No?
Probably should have. Maybe that's my own
No, you
delusion.
should not.
But so I've been doing 8 years, 30 years old. Don't have a whole lot, but it's like you have to remember why are you doing it to be rich? Because if you're doing it to be rich, it's like comedy is not a good way to get rich. You could, it happens, but I feel like there's easier ways to get rich. If I fantasize where I was like, if I just quit comedy and worked really hard full time at some sort of job, lucrative job, I'd be miserable. But I was like, I'd make way more money. Comedy isn't it's same thing with girls. I hear some people going, "Oh yeah, I do comedy. It's a great way to meet girls." I'm like, it's not really the best way to meet girls.
No.
You could. It happens.
People all the time are like, "Oh, I bet you get so much pussy on the road." I'm like, the road isn't like hot single girls night out.
Yeah, going to comedy
always
shows.
couples.
So anytime, like, who is good for getting girls in comedy?
Dalia?
Is Dalia. But I mean, like, the average comedian who is like, "Oh, I do comedy to get girls," or uses it, is ugly guys.
Oh yeah,
because you could get a bunch of like gross girls, but
just by being like, "Oh, you do comedy, you do funny stuff."
Yeah, you could get the girls you don't want, or at least the ones that me and you don't want. You could get doing comedy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Anyways, I think if you're contemplating quitting,
it's not a serious thought. It's just like, man, I really don't want to do this anymore.
If you're down, you just have to remind yourself why you're doing it. You're doing it because you like to make people laugh and create things, release a piece of content, and just make yourself like feel like you're putting artwork out into the world. And then another thing you could do is go pick someone who's doing way worse than you, and just go look at their Twitter.
That's hilarious.
Page.
Just to look at
least I'm not that guy.
I actually had a moment like that. I think it was Sunday night at the Comedy Store. John Campanelli and Esther, they do a show there.
Oh, right.
And they needed somebody to host. And he was like, "Sorry, man, it's last minute." He's like, "You're only doing like 10 minutes up front, and then you got to stay the whole show and introduce each comic.
Right.
Don't do any in between. It's not paid." And I was like, "But I really need somebody who can open the show well." And I was like, "I'm not doing anything. I'll do it."
Yeah.
And I'm standing backstage about halfway through the show. I'm tired. I want to go home. I already did my shit like an hour ago.
Right.
I'm literally just saying names in between.
Right.
And I'm backstage, and I'm just like, I want to go home. And I was like, that's so fucking rude of me. Because I've been here, it'll be 7 years in January. And when I moved here, I would have killed to even be in the Comedy Store, let alone like get any kind of spot.
Yeah.
So I was like, it instantly put me in a good mood to be like, no, I'm doing okay. It's fine. I have my own expectations and everything, but I feel like you can't be too content anyways.
Yeah, that's a good thing to tell yourself is, would I be happy with myself if 17-year-old me was looking at 24-year-old me, would they be stoked?
Yeah, and
they probably would be.
I think you would be.
Yeah, but your goals change. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like when I first started comedy, I was like, if I made $40,000 a year doing comedy, like, who cares? You're living the dream.
Yeah,
But then you move to LA, and
that's like
I'm
2 months
yeah,
rent.
but Matt's on TV. Why am I not on TV? Oh, but that person's doing that. Why am I not?
It's so hard not to think like that
so
too.
hard.
Because I mean, your ego gets involved. You
yeah.
can go, I'm better than this person, or you can get really deep. I deserve this. I'm the perfect person for this, but you have no control.
You just take a step. You got to take a step back and go, everything's good.
You can't look at a single person who you want to be like and recreate that process. It's not going to happen for you, and it sucks to realize that, because everybody has that dream of like, I'm gonna do comedy for like 5 years. I'm gonna get a special. I'm gonna get my own TV show. I'm gonna do movies. I'm gonna do this, and then you see somebody else do it. So you're like, it's so possible.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen for you.
No.
And then you start to self-doubt and be like, fuck, should I even be doing this? Is this all just like a fucking dream? Am I only kidding myself by pursuing this? It gets dark sometimes.
Another thing is, you are allowed to do other things.
Yeah.
You don't have to just do comedy. I'm not saying like give up on comedy. I'm saying you're allowed to paint a picture if you want. You're allowed to learn how to play the guitar.
Very true.
You're allowed to just keep yourself busy and pursue other projects.
Do you believe in like a plan B, like day job wise?
I don't have a plan B, but I would take other, like if someone offered me a job right now, like, hey, we don't think you're right to play this role, but you could direct it. I would do it.
But not as far as like you wouldn't go work like a 9 to 5.
I say I wouldn't, but if I couldn't pay my rent, like I was a door guy at the Comedy Store for a long time, and I don't want to work there. I don't like it. It's a job.
Yeah.
But if I, was out of money and needed to pay my bills, I would rather do that than sleep on someone's couch
Do you
move back to
Do you
San
feel like
Diego.
this is like what you're supposed to be doing?
I don't believe in that whole, like, you hear
Like
some
a
people
fate
where they're
thing?
like, well, comedy is the only thing I can do. I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe that. That's just like something you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
I think I could do, there's a lot of things that I could choose to do and that I think I would like to do, but comedy is something that I love and want to do.
Because I'll have like weird instances where it's like, I mean, I'm not a religious person at all. I'm like I'm acid is about as spiritual as I'll get. So I mean, I have no idea that kind of stuff, or like if I believe in fate or anything like that. But there is a weird common trend, and especially just since being in LA in 7 years, where I'll have usually once a year it happens where it's like I'll have a really fucking good year, just where everything's going my way, and then everything fucking drops and you're doing nothing, right? And I've lost all my money. I've just ran through it, bills, doing some fun stuff, because you have to enjoy the money a little bit.
Right.
People always
Well,
like
that's the thing. A little bit.
a little bit,
Yeah,
yes.
not-
Finding
you
that
don't blow all your
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll get to these points where I'm like, I literally don't know what I'm going to do for next month's rent. It does happen. Like last December, I had no plans at all for 2019. Didn't have a single gig lined up, and I had maybe $600 in my bank account. Like I applied for my contractor's license. I was about to start doing construction on the side while I was here. Like I was so fucked. And every single time that has happened while I've been here, anytime I've like applied for a job and I'm like, I've got to buckle down, something happens.
popped up,
I'll
yeah.
book a show that gets me just enough to the next gig.
Yeah.
Or with this year, it ended up being Dane taking me on a tour. Like I just out of nowhere, I was like,
Right.
oh my God, and I'm all of a sudden super busy.
Pretty cool.
It's super cool, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like as soon as you get down on yourself and it's like, well, guess that was it. I had my run, and maybe it just isn't supposed to be it. Something happens to be like,
Right.
no, stay in it. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. And it's I have skills to fall back on too. Like
Yeah, you fucking glued.
yeah, I was gonna say podcasting has done a lot for me, because I'll be broke and then someone will be like, hey Ari, will you help me start a podcast? I'll pay you this much money to help
Really?
me. And I'll be like, yeah.
Nice,
And then I'll
dude.
do that. And then that usually, like me and I met Santino from opening for him in Arizona. Or actually no, I met him from working at the Comedy Store, but like I opened for him once in Arizona from winning some comedy contest.
Really?
And we just
Was it stand up live?
it was
House
the
of Comedy?
Big Pine Comedy Festival.
Oh no, I did that last year.
So I did that festival. I go out there, losing $600 to do it because
course.
they don't pay. And
Put you in like the worst hotel.
yeah, they put you in like a dorm, basically
shared hotel, yeah.
like a hostel. And you spend money to get there, and you're spending money on food. And I think I even bought my own hotel room because I'm like, I'm not sharing a room with
Yeah.
strangers. But I'm like, I did it because I like Flagstaff, and the people who run the festival were super nice. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'll go do shows, whatever, who cares? And then I didn't even know they were doing this, but they did like the Best of Fest thing.
Okay.
And I was in a fight. I brought my girlfriend with me there at the time, and we got in a big fight. So we're leaving the festival. We're in a fight. I'm leaving. I take off right after my show, and they call me and they go, "Hey, we can't find you anywhere, but we just did like the Best of Fest awards, and you got it, but you're not here." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool. What's that mean?" And they're like, "So just pick a weekend at the House of Comedy, and you can come feature." So
So
I'm
you
like,
picked Santino's weekend?
so I was like, I know Santino a little bit from working at the store. Like he knows who I am, and I like his comedy, and I like him. So I picked him. So I come do the weekend with him, and we play golf together, and we just get along great. And then he just learned that weekend that I knew how podcasting stuff. So then when he started his podcast, I helped him start that.
Nice.
And just like
Isn't
built
that
a friendship.
weird how that happens, man?
But
Like
so
one
it's
little
like-
thing can lead to another.
Yeah, so enough people now know about this garage space to where whenever someone's starting a podcast, if they're in my circle of friends, they're like, go to Ari, he'll
Right.
hook it up. So it's like I have things unique skills that other comedians don't have, and that's kind of keeps me afloat, I think.
That's good, man. Good for you, dude.
It's something. I'd rather just be,
Just be doing stand up.
just be doing stand-up, but
I wish it
Can't
worked like
complain.
that anymore, man. You have to be doing fucking everything.
yeah, and even the people who can just do stand-up still do podcasting. And
I
other
will
stuff.
be, as soon as I'm famous, I will be deleting everything. I can't wait to just do the stuff. Like, just do stand up, just do acting, just create, not
Yeah.
have to fucking read the drama online and please a million different platforms.
Okay, last question. You have been doing stand-up 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Started at age 15. You've auditioned. You've done a lot of cool things that people would dream of.
Mm-hmm.
You already said, you told me about how you didn't get, what's the show called?
Wild 'N Out.
You didn't get Wild 'N Out when you were 17. But what, of all the things, like what has been your biggest disappointment or biggest thing where you're like, oh, I wish I could go redo that, or I wish I didn't do that one gig? Is there anything there where you're like, man?
It wasn't like a specific fuck up. I think it's overall, I just wish I knew what people didn't like about me.
Just,
Like,
you
stand
just,
up wise. I wish I knew what I could fix. Because, like, there hasn't been a specific instance that I'm like, I wish I could have done that better. But it's like anytime I approach like Comedy Central or something like that, any of their showcases or whatever, they always are just every time pass. Not interested. I wish I knew what was going on in people's minds that makes them not want to give an opportunity.
I think that's probably an unhealthy mindset to have, because
Extremely. I'm suffering.
It's like you just have to remember this town's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If someone doesn't like you industry-wise, it's probably not that they didn't like you. They just don't want to take a chance, or they like someone else better, or you weren't right for that thing.
It's rarely personal.
How many times is someone going, fuck Matt Rife? Like, that's not happening.
You'd
and
be
if
surprised.
if that is happening, it's like, it's subjective.
Yeah.
You're polarizing maybe. Some people are going to like you, some people aren't. You can go on a Dave Chappelle video on YouTube, and there's 10 comments saying, Dave Chappelle sucks.
That's
it's
true.
Like,
very, very
how
true.
could you think Dave Chappelle sucks? What's wrong with you? But
I think the only thing, and this might actually better answer your question, the only thing I think I've done in my career that I'm like, I shouldn't have handled it that way, because this would give someone the impression of that I wouldn't be a nice guy or whatever, was when I was hosting TRL out of New York.
I didn't know you hosted TRL.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Wait, like a season of TRL you hosted?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wait.
So they rebooted it like 2 years ago.
Okay, this is on MTV.
Yeah,
and
2 years ago
Matt
in
Rife's
October.
going to be the new host. How did I not hear about this? Okay.
Because this is exactly why it never panned out. So they called me. I've been doing a bunch of MTV shit with Wild Now and some other shit with them. And so they were rebooting TRL. And they called me on a Friday. And they're like, hey, this is this deal we want to give you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I know about TRL. I don't want to be a host. I'm okay. Thank you, though. Let's focus on something else. And they're like, no, it's going to be you and DC Young Fly. You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
He's an Instagram comedian guy or whatever. He's on Wild Now as well. I know he's a couple of movies, whatever. Anyways, so they're like, it's going to be you two hosting your own show. And I was like, well, we had good chemistry on Wild Now. Could be fun. But I was like, I really want to do a lot more like acting stuff and like my type of comedy. They're like, oh, it's going to be cool. You guys going to be hosting the show. We have some great special guests. You guys are going to do like your own sketches. And we're going to let you guys do your comedy. It's going to be your guys' thing. And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, well, here's a stupid amount of money and like a holding deal and all this cool shit. And I was like, all right, well, can you just like, let me get back to you in like a week. And they're like, no, we need you here Monday. And I was like, you need me to move to New York tomorrow, basically. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we're going to get you a hotel or an apartment, everything. We all pay for all of it. It's in the middle of Times Square. I'm living like in the building that like the big ball drops in that building. I walk to Viacom every day. And I get there, it's immediately a lie. There's two other hosts, is two female hosts, who they were great. No, nothing wrong with them. Just it would have been like, it was already like, what the fuck is happening?
But you mean DC Youngfly wasn't there? Or?
He was a host as well, but there was
so
also
there were 4
two.
Hosts.
Yes, there was 4 hosts.
Okay.
And like a couple correspondents and stuff like that. We never had any cool guests. That we only had like YouTube kids and Vine kids, because Viacom swears that's what people want to watch. They don't.
Right.
And I remember one of the days, like it's in like those big windows in the Viacom building.
Yeah.
And it's like daylight saving time, so it's dark early while we're filming. And there's these 2 Vine kids like Jello wrestling in sumo suits in a pool, right? And I'm wearing a referee's jersey with a whistle, and we cut to commercial, and I look over and I catch
it's live? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Total Request Live, man.
Oh, that's right.
I catch a reflection of myself in the mirror, standing next to this fucking Jello pit with these 2 guys sumo wrestling and me in this jersey, and I went, I hate this. This isn't what I want to do for my life at all. And the show was a disaster. It wasn't funny. It wasn't informative. It wasn't like, there was no point to it. No music videos, nothing. It's like every day I was waking up at 7 a.m. to go to set, to read a script that was beyond unfunny, that I'm like, I'm a comedian. I can't be saying this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it makes me look horrible. And they'd be like, well, what do you want to say? And I'm like, well, let's do this. And they're like, well, you can't say that. And I'm like, then why am I here? And also, why am I not getting paid for a writer's credit if I have to write my own shit?
Yeah.
And it was just, I probably seemed like a diva, 100%. But I was just like, this is fucking horrible. I was in a relationship.
So how did it end?
I quit.
Okay.
It was a miserable experience.
Did you have to cancel your contract? Did you quit at the end of the season?
So I got super lucky, actually. So word on the set had kind of gotten out that I was thinking about leaving. Like, I was miserable. I was in a terrible relationship.
Yeah.
I missed my friends. I missed the work I wanted to be doing. And I was hating my job. I was the first time I realized money didn't buy happiness. Because I was making more money than my parents had ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
And word had gotten out that I was going to quit. So we go on a hiatus for like 2 weeks while they reset the quarters or whatever. And they call like 3 days before I'm supposed to go back to New York. And they're like, hey, we know you're not happy here. So we think it would be best if we let you go for creative purposes. And I was like, thank God.
Perfect.
Because then they terminated their contract for the next quarter. So I got paid for the next 3 months and didn't have to go do the show. It actually worked out amazing for me, yes.
And I think the beauty of it,
and my bad. The show got canceled 3 weeks after, by the way. They
3 weeks after it
didn't even get
creative differences.
Yeah, and they didn't even finish the quarter. So the show got canceled, and they still had to keep paying me.
And it's on MTV, so no one saw it.
Nobody, dude. I would come back here on the weekends to visit my girlfriend, and I'd pop into comedy clubs and stuff. And people, what are you doing? You know, where have you been? I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, oh, that's on? I'm like, exactly. Nobody's.
Yeah.
It didn't help at all.
It's just a check.
Yeah,
and you blew all the money from it.
That's probably my biggest regret. Is I wish I would have handled it nicer and a little bit more professional than being like, this is fucking stupid. Why am I doing it? It was wrong.
So you wish you were just like more professional and then maybe off camera just told your agent or manager,
rather than
try and get me out of this.
Rather than being like, who wrote this shit? And having the writer be like, I wrote it. And be like, this is fucking horrible. Like, that was not, I mean, it is horrible. You should be ashamed, but like, I shouldn't be saying it like this.
Well, at least you learn from it.
I would never do that again, despite the job.
I can't even imagine you doing that. You're a pretty nice guy.
I'm super nice, but it was, like I said, everything about it was bad. My personal life was bad. The job was bad.
Yeah. What about living in New York? Was that cool? Would you move back to New York ever,
honestly,
or you like LA better?
I really like New York. I definitely love LA way more. And it was a 7 a.m. to about 7 p.m. job every single day. And it was so stressful, you being live. I'm constantly trying to think of new shit to do on the show. By the time I got done every day, I had no energy to go out and do stand-up and stuff.
Right.
I had no time to go do auditions. So it was like I was missing out on any of the fun part about New York.
Yeah.
It was really just my apartment, Viacom.
Was it a nice apartment?
It was a really nice apartment.
That's pretty cool.
That was the good part about it. And making like $15,000 a week was like, what?
Yeah.
But too good to be true.
Week? Yeah. What would I'd buy a van.
A van?
I really want to get a custom camper van and live in it.
Like a Volkswagen
No,
van?
I want to get like a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Oh, shit.
That type of van. A pretty big van. And turn it into a little tiny house. And I want to get rid of my apartment.
Purchase.
And I want a white Sprinter van.
Like those no
windows.
Oh, my God.
And I want to sleep there every night.
Have you seen like those like mountaineer, like those like hardcore like climbers, like the vans they live in and shit? That's what you want?
Basically,
like just enough room
like
for
that.
like some clothes and a bed.
It'll have a little bed, a little sink, kitchen sink, and an outdoor shower. Like I want a big water tube attached to the roof, so a little faucet.
You've really thought this out.
Oh yeah, I fall asleep to van videos every night. That's my dream.
It's such a weird dream.
It's like, here's what it is. It's just complete and utter freedom. Because if you own the van, cash, let's say I want it nice. I want it like $50,000 van, right? So I spend $50,000 on this van. And after that, all I need money for is food and gas.
It's true. There's no
That's
rent.
Literally it.
Keeping it up. Yeah.
I could live off $500 a month. There's no job that I would ever take after that I didn't want to actually do.
Do you
want to host this show? Nope.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Is it going to pay the $13 I need for this month?
Yeah, that's it.
But do you wonder about like, you can't bring bitches back to your van.
It is. You can.
You can't.
That's how you find the cool ones.
No, that's not the cool one. That's cool girls do not go to the van.
You meet a girl, you like her, and she goes, "Oh, so tell me about yourself." And that's just, you make it part of you. You make it cool. You go, "Well,
in a van.
I live in a Mercedes Sprinter van, and it's awesome. It's my dream, and I'm doing it."
But like, when is it like, hey, where's your bathroom?
And then they're curious. Well, you have
I think they're terrified.
The bathroom and a couple and the bathroom are there. Isn't that cool? But that's actually the first thing that's ever made me second guess it.
The bathroom,
you can't
dude.
really go to the bathroom in privacy.
Dude, it's gonna be all truck stops and porta potties forever.
No, you do have bathrooms. Like if it was a girlfriend, but I could handle her peeing in front of me or whatever.
But where is she peeing?
Oh, there's a little compost toilet. But if it's like what I'm thinking is what made me second guess it.
There's a little compost toilet. Like it's so like duh.
No, what you said that made me second guess it is let's say I get a girl, it's our first night together. No one wants to pee in front of each other like when you first meet a chick. So that's where it would get weird.
But like
I might have to change my plans of the van and now install a little bathroom. And some of them have bathrooms.
You know what I saw today actually was it was a football thing where like the Oregon Ducks have like a pop-up toilet. It's like a pop-up porta potty.
But that's like a full-on bus that those guys are in, right?
No, it's literally like it's no bigger than this table, really. Yeah. It lays completely flat, and you kick a thing with your foot, and it just.
There you go.
And then there's like a little toilet on the inside.
Yeah, you get a van.
God, I hate that I'm egging it on. My bad. Just strap that shit to the top, I guess. I don't.
Do you have a girlfriend now?
No, I'm single.
No, single.
It's weird. I've had no interest in probably the past month in hanging out with any girls. It's weird.
Yeah. Who was your last girlfriend?
This girl named Tina.
Tina. When did you guys break up?
We broke up in, I guess, early August, I'd say.
What's the best way?
Mid-August.
So you don't meet girls at shows that often. What's the best? How'd you meet Tina?
Instagram, of course.
It all goes down in the DMs.
Yeah, dude. I live in there.
That's pretty cool.
She was a great girl too. She was 38.
38?
She's 38. Yeah, dude.
And you were 23?
Yeah, 23.
And she was great?
Don't fucking judge me, Van. Man.
I'm not judging you. I'm actually judging her. And by the way, I would definitely like hook up. Yeah, I'm 30. I would definitely hook up with a 38-year-old woman.
Yeah.
But like full-on relationship,
dude,
it's not gonna work out.
Those are the only girls I can date though, because young girls are just like they're into. Only in LA, really. The younger girls, I feel like, especially the hot ones, obviously, they just want to be at the club every night. They want to figure out what celebrity's house they can go back to afterwards. They're all about like the LA scene, and I despise it.
But imagine if you married her. Or are you not even thinking about that?
Well, that was the thing about her, though. Yeah. That's the thing I like about older women. They're past all that. Like, they want.
What about you?
Relationship.
Are you thinking like, don't you want to get married one day or no?
No,
you don't care. If you don't care, you don't care.
I really don't care.
Okay, got it.
And the thing about her was her being 38, her biological clock she's ticking, like she only has so many years until she can have a baby. Like she's got to settle down soon.
End of that clock.
And like she was a fantastic girl. She's probably the best girlfriend I've ever had. Like she was just very supportive, very sweet, just a good person. Mm-hmm. And I got to a point where something over like this summer just clicked where I'm like, I'm really just focused on my career and me and my friends. Like that's what really makes me happy. That's what I want to do every day. Yeah. And I was just like not wanting to hang out with her, and not that I didn't love her and want to be with her, but I was just like, I'm not giving back what you're giving me. And so to do the right thing, I was like, I want you to find somebody that you're going to settle down with. And I can't imagine myself being.
Did she find someone? Do you know?
I mean, I know she's hooked up with somebody after me, but I don't think they're dating. I just told her, I was like, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste my early 20s. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste your last good years and my prime. So we split, and I mean, we're fine, I guess. She wasn't happy about it, but what breakup ends fucking perfect,
Yeah, not many of them. Did she block you on all social media?
Of course.
Okay, so
dude, I read the funniest meme the other day too. It was like your ex blocks you as soon as you break up, but she couldn't figure out a way to block her exes before you throughout the entire relationship.
That is funny.
It's like so many times. I'm like, block this dude. Why are you still talking to him? No, it's not like that. We're still friends. Sure enough, block. I'm like, whatever. I think it's best though to block each other out.
I do too. Oh well,
at least for a little while.
I think certain people could handle things differently. Mm-hmm. Like certain people you meet and they're just like, yep, I realized it wasn't best and now we're just friends. But I'm not like that. If I have sex with you, it's very hard for me to just going, oh yeah, let's just go get coffee.
For me, it's if I loved you, I think.
Or love.
If I love you, then I'm like, I don't want to see you fucking move on. I know you don't want to see me with somebody else.
Yeah, I think I'm just not secure enough or not mature enough.
No, me too,
But,
dude.
yeah, I block 'em.
I don't do the whole
Blocked.
friends with X thing.
Yeah, if we're over, we're over.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Dude, thank you for
man.
having me, man. This is a great time. My hand's so clammy. I'm sorry.
Good.
Dude, thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for doing it.
Of course.
See you guys.
Later.
You're listening to
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Mannis.
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Mannis.